The FIFA World Cup knockout stage continues to deliver drama, passion, and unforgettable moments. England survived a spirited challenge from DR Congo with a 2-1 victory. Belgium edged Senegal 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller, while the United States produced a composed 2-0 win over Bosnia to book their place in the round of 16. Hello everyone, I'm Abel Sunday, and today we will break down the tactical battle, the standout performance, the controversial moment, and what this result means for the team still chasing World Cup glory. Joining me here in the studio is media sport marketing professional Josiah Delight Ahmedu, bringing his expert perspective alongside the sport maestro from Port Harcourt, Jackson Caleb, with his trademark in-depth analysis. Stay with us as we unpack all the action on another exciting edition. The P&B World Cup show starts now.
Countdown is over. The world is ready. From June 11th to July 19th, football takes center stage as the biggest FIFA World Cup in history unfolds across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 48 nations, 104 matches, countless moments of drama, passion, and glory. Join Abel Sunday and the P&B TV Sports team as we bring you exclusive preview, expert analysis, match review, breaking stories, and everything you need to know from the FIFA World Cup 2026. Who will rise? Who will fall? Which nation will lead football's most coveted trophy? From the group stage battle to the grand finale, P&B TV is your home for the road to World Cup glory. Don't miss a moment of the action. Tune in daily from June 11, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. through July 19th with comprehensive World Cup coverage. FIFA World Cup 2026 on P&B TV. One word, one game, one champion. P&B TV bringing the beautiful game closer to you. For sponsorship, contact Abel Sunday on 081 499 15988.
It's P&B World Cup show reaching live from the nation's capital. But before we go into the business of the day, we have our correspondent Arako Tom fired in a report all the way from Enugu. Just concluded MBBF basketball league that just the phase 2 that just ended on Sunday. But let's go to the video and see what Arako had to say.
Our corporate boardroom strategies and microeconomic indicators usually dominate our headlines. Today we pivot to a multi-million naira sports economy that is capturing the nation's attention, the business of Nigerian basketball. The Nigerian Basketball Premier League has officially concluded its regular season grind. The data is in, the conference brackets have settled, and the infrastructure for the Elite Playoff 8 tournament is officially locked in place. Let's look at the market leaders. In the highly competitive Atlantic Conference, the Marktown Flyers have leveraged an aggressive campaign to secure the coveted number 1 seed. However, their market dominance faces an immediate threat from the corporate powerhouse and 6-time champions, the River Hoopers. The Hoopers recently delivered a stark statement on the hardwood, handing the Flyers a heavy defeat to secure the 2nd seed and signal their intent to reclaim the national title. Capitalizing on steady operational consistency, Hopes and Reed punched their ticket in the 3rd position, while the Lagos Raptors fortified the final playoff slot in 4th. Turning our attention northward to the Savannah Conference, a dramatic disruption in the established hierarchy has reshaped the board. The ASO Skyhawks have executed an exceptional regular season strategy, soaring past veteran franchises to seize the number 1 seed. Right on their heels are the 3-1-3 Warriors, clinching the 2nd position through sheer defensive efficiency. Meanwhile, Boko City Chiefs consolidate their market share in 3rd, leaving the final playoff berth to the league's most enduring legacy franchise, the Kano Pillars, who sneak through in 4th. 8 elite basketball franchises, millions of fans invested, but only one organization will walk away with the ultimate return on investment. The Nigeria Premier Basketball League Championship will soon crown the champions. We'll be tracking the economic and athletic fallout right here as the playoff 8 gets underway. For Politics and Business Television, I'm Arako Tom.
Welcome back. That's a report fired in from one of our correspondents, Arkotom, and just tells you all what has been happening in the MBBF basketball league so far. And of course, we're going to see the 20-man team rather have been trimmed down to 8, and then definitely we're going to see how that was going to pan out. Of course, let's cross down to Port Harcourt to have the sports maestro, Caleb Jackson. Caleb, good evening. How are you doing in Port Harcourt? If you mute yourself, maybe you should unmute yourself, please. Can you unmute yourself?
All right, good evening. I'm so glad to be back on the show. It's a very great privilege. So, like I said earlier, Port Harcourt is sunny and then oil is resurfacing the land again. So, oil is reverberating everywhere.
We'll be hearing oil.
I think I would say England was lucky, but then again, I am not really surprised that England did the comeback. You know, in our yesterday's session, we had some analysis on why games could go like this. But then again, from the way Congo set up, we already knew something like this could happen. Taking the lead, the way they tactically tried to defend, held on to that. But then again, just like Aroku said in the morning, there is a fundamental problem with our African football, which began to play out in yesterday's game. After the first half, I expected Congo, at least having scored a first goal, I expected them to come out more against an England side that was not very solid defensively, because even at the second half, you will see some miscommunication between the centre backs and especially the full backs. And then there were some issues in transitioning Tuchel's play to forward. So I expected Congo to at least step up their defensive line, even if they wanted to pass the ball. You don't pass the ball so deep. That's why I begin to have issues with African problems. When you talk about the terminology, packing the ball, it does not necessarily mean you have to pack it in front of your 18-yard box. You can basically shift your line out with some intent to catch the opposition team off guard while you try to compactly defend And that's what I'm going to You could see that in the USA game yesterday, even after the red card. They didn't just go to sit back in front of the keeper. Yes, they set up defensively, but they strategically set. We saw that happen in the first half. I don't know why it was not key on happening again.
Better team actually won the game yesterday, but defensively, we saw Brian Sembenga alone. I'm talking about the first half. But what is the lacuna in that defense? I'm talking about the English defense. And you know, we've cried here on this show, and I said it yesterday about the defense of the English team. But if they had to go forward, don't you think Thomas Tuchel need to look at his defense lineup very, very well? Because looking at what happened yesterday, they were just lucky. If not, I think the reverse could have been the case.
Firstly, the pairing of the centre backs, there are not two centre backs that complement each other's weakness. And that's one of the things about pairing the centre backs. You have to understand their strengths and their weaknesses when pairing them. Yesterday, I felt that Chaluba would have been a better option to start than Attribution, because having looked at their round of 32 games with which they qualified, they struggled so much before they scored, and then they had some problems defensively. Attribution is not one of the best centre backs when it comes to one people challenging. They know how to step up, get to this recover passes.
I try to get back to our church to come back.
And it's also in the
Okay.
I've always done as a concert. So I thought that having brought in Chaluba into the squad,
Let's go.
would have given him an option to start. That was what I had in mind. But Tuchel had the reason for doing that. And going forward, I feel that Maguire needs to understand concept rather than developing his team side. This is because Maguire is someone who likes to comfortably play on the ball. He likes to remove pressure off himself. But he should also understand that, okay, since this other guy is going to advance forward, I should learn this. I should learn to watch the movement. If possible, I should take on more responsibilities as the last man to prevent such issues from happening again.
Okay, well said, Caleb, I think that was that from your own view. I would say that was a good one from your own view, because a lot of people might not agree with what you just said. But as you were talking, my Oga at the top just walked in. Welcome, sir. The media professional Josiah Amedu. Welcome to the show again today.
Sorry for coming this late. I have some assignment.
No, of course, we know you are a very busy man. You even giving us this month, I would not take it for granted. We know you are a very busy man.
The one thing I want to tell you that my predictions came to pass.
Exactly, you said so. But you knew, but yesterday you know that it was just God in heaven that saved England.
Well, like, yes, I think with all what this guy was analyzing, where it's coming. I told you before that my three people that I predicted to play for them to win were on that field.
Yes.
Saka, just to bring that strength. That strength was one of the things that gave them power. Every one of them was actually a very, very risky event for the English team. Like I said the problem with the English team is that their defense is very porous. But should they bring a very understandable midfield play and that can help to mop up some kind of defensive, because they don't have a defense as far as I'm concerned. Escape, because I was somewhere actually in somewhere that we're together, and I couldn't come to watch the game, and I was engulfed in that thing, and I don't have goal. I know you were the second time. I was like, Omo, while I don't come. This English team is going early.
You never knew that it was an equalizer.
I didn't know it was an equalizer until when I came out of where I was, and I heard that the England team eventually won. Well, they are going to face another uphill task, and until then, let's wait what's going to happen.
Exactly, let's wait what's going to happen. But Caleb, don't you think it has become a pattern with the African teams? They will take the lead, but all of a sudden they go down and sleep.
I would refer back to what the morning session, what Aroko said earlier in the morning session. It's more or less a fundamental problem. But for me, I think Africa still have PTSD from the pre-independence. I think whether we have some sort of anxiety or we feel inferior to these guys whenever we play them on the field. Because when you look at the Congolese team, their back line is nothing short of an English starting. You have Wan-Bissaka who starts for West Ham United. You have Mbena who currently plays for West Ham United. And then you have just few players who are starting at various leagues. So these players are not just African or local champions. These are players who have experience in leagues, wherever they play with different teams. So I these guys are superior. It is not like that. It is what you give them that they take of you. After scoring the first goal, like I said, in fact, they were able to keep the ball down, transit, move, and then create chances. But they weren't scoring. Fine, if you are not scoring, like I said, you don't have to run back, because look at the distance from England post to your 18-yard box. That's quite a distance, and the ball is faster than you as a player. So all you need to do is tell your defense to step up their highline so that it will compact the shape and then help to reserve the strength of the players that are running. Because you cannot tell me that by the time they are running to and fro to that distance, at some point, even to attack become an excellent task for you. It will become a menial job for you. You will not be able to do it with ease. So those are some of the things that took out the Congolese strength. And then even the reserve coming on, we're not coming on to attack, but they were even coming on to defend the 1-1 so as to take the game to penalties. So you cannot just do that when the game hasn't even gone into extra time yet. So these are some of the problems I find very annoying for me. Moving on from here, I want them to go back to the ground, not even preparing for this time. I want them to go back to the ground, the roots of African football, and discover that when we play as Africans, we don't just come to balloon the ball, we don't just come to clear the ball. Even in our Nigerian league, there are those players that you watch. We watch with ease, we watch with some elegance and fun. So why are we forgetting who we are? Why are we playing to a foreign identity like we don't know what we are made of? We are made of stones, and yet we play like we are made of clay. So for me, I just find it a misuse or some scarecrow. When we see these foreign teams, we become scared of them or something. I honestly feel that the Football Association of Africa in general needs to wake up.
Well, it needs to wake up. Let me expand on what you are just saying now. I think the African players, what they do, they play they work hard, not smart. But the foreign players, I think they work smarter. So sometimes when you say power big, 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 sometimes it does not work that way. You just have to use your head, and I think that's what most of the European teams, like you rightly say, I know you like those European teams very well, and the South American teams. I think that is what they are doing. They work smarter than hard. What we do here, but let me come to you, Josiah, before I go back to Caleb. Can Tuche's men survive Mexico playing like this? They're playing Mexico next in the round of 16. Can they survive playing the way they're playing like this?
Well, they had box of the English team, and so they should go and get themselves prepared how they can build their defense. Already, they have a very formidable attacking players like Larry Kane, Saka, even Glenn Rice. Even tried in the game that they played yesterday. It was obvious that he contributed immensely to the excellent performance of the English team, rallying around to come from that that fear-shaking 1-0 early goal by the DR Congo. So the Mexicans have it in their hands because of the defense they have, the home court and the home pitch advantage they have. It will work for them. But be that as it may, it has gone beyond home pitch advantage. It is now strategic. It is now who will rise to the occasion to want to win this game for their team. The likes of France will not take it lightly in this kind of group of 16. Now, this is a knockout stage. Any slight error or slight mistake, you are home. So they need to be up and doing. Tuchel need to come with something that is spectacular beyond what we see. They've been coming from one goal down to want to come and win. You might not have it easy, lucky with any other team. You might not be shocked that they will not bang you 3 goals before halftime, and that's all because they've demoralized your team. Like I would say, fundamentally, Tuchel has a very, very big problem. I don't know what kind of coach he is. If where he played the game of football, which I can't recall. If he plays, maybe he's a defender or he's more an attacking coach or a midfield coach. You will see that replicate in most of the teams. What those coaches are used to playing when they were at their playing days. Like the likes of Zidane. If you watch when he was in Real Madrid, he had all the skillful players that could play from the midfield and attack. He is a defender and he's always an attacker. So you see that at that time you find most with the likes of that Brazilian guy with the bushy hair, what's the name again? That was playing from the midfield to the attack. So what is the English team going to do now? Do you have that kind of team that can?
Okay, I'm talking about Marcelo.
Can you now attack from the midfield and then recover back to form a formation of defense with your midfield team? Now that's the strategy that the English team need to use against the Mexicans. They cannot just allow that ball enter their midfield. Immediately enter that midfield, you will see that English team, they are going to be porous. So the Mexicans have had it easy for them. Ecuador is a very big team, and they've beaten Ecuador 2-0. And if they are going to be playing them in that Hazard stadium Estaka, that has about how many I think they said it's about 80-something thousand capacity crowd. Then the hula baloo will be there, confusion will be there. And if they don't concentrate well, they're going to lose that game.
Well, just like I said, they're going to lose that game. They need to control. But Caleb, if you were to be the coach of the Three Lions going against the Mexican at this round of 16, how will you play? How will you set up your team with all you have in your disposal? How will you set up your team?
Firstly, I think I might start with the normal lineup. I might just make some few alterations. Like I said earlier, bringing in Chaluba to pair with Guedes, and then I might drop Spence and take Rice to the right back. So as to play as a content midfielder, then have Bellingham play the double pivot to Kudimino, and then leave Morgan Rogers as my 10. Then have my Harry Kane, then have Rashford start and Saka. And the reason why I said Declan Rice dropped the right back, for us that watched the game yesterday, there was a huge difference. I've always been at least there can be an extra man creativity on the pitch. And those were one of the things that those are one of the factors that helped Thomas Tuchel, because you saw that gave him the space to bring in Eze yesterday. And just like rightly like Mr. Josiah said, Eze contributed with the little time he had to the winning of the game. So why not start that from where you stop? Instead of going back to your normal lineup, you can continue with a defensive tactical gamble, because that gives the right the room to progress and also retract the step. And then the double pivot of Kobe and Juvelia also gives them the ability to progress to the ball, retain the ball more. Because for me, the pivot of Declan Rice and Eden Anderson does not really do much progression with the ball into the final third. If you check their passes into the final third, they see a lot lacking. They have less than 41% of passes into the final third, both of them combined, which shows you that there is a lot of work to be done by these players. When you talk about double pivot, it's not just the ability for the midfielders to one goal, the other person sees back. It's that ability. So they have the two midfielders, Brent, the two double pivots, and then they have the extra defensive midfielder who takes on the attacking midfielder. So you see that Mexico goes out man to man for the midfield. And if they go like that against England, I think for some time we might see the game just looking forward, because we might not see anything different. So those are some things that the Mexicans might be looking to do. And most times they win most of the balls in their midfield area. The average interception of the Mexican ball is always in the midfield area. So those are some things that Thomas Tuchel should be looking out for to try and beat. But then again, going forward, I think I would still prepare my Rashford to start, given his technical abilities. And then again, Saka too should start, because I don't know if it's fitness issues, but for me, Saka makes a huge difference. Look at Madeke yesterday. There are some chances that you have at the left side. Why are you trying to take an extra touch to your right foot? Why not fit your man and take the shot to your left leg? Just like Mr. Josiah said, they have to think the goalkeeper appears. A left footer shot and a header. And we saw lack of that from Madeke. Saka coming on made better use of his left foot than Madeke. Give those chances to a proper left footer. And I trust you, one of those goals will come out from there. So those are some things that we should also be looking out for, and we should be demanding from this player. I don't know, but Tuchel should demand more from this player going forward into the next round.
All right, you guys were talking. I wonder why you guys did not talk about Antonio Gordon that gave the 2 assists. I know we chatted about that yesterday, and you just brushed that away. I don't know why you guys did not talk about Antonio Gordon, but that's fine. It's time for us to go for a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about Belgium and Senegal. Don't go anywhere. It's CP&B World Cup show reaching live from the nation's capital, and I'm very much with Josiah here in the studio, and also Caleb all the way from Port Harcourt. But we're talking about, we'll be going into the game between Belgium versus Senegal. It's quite unfortunate. 4 African nations are already out, and we're celebrating not even quite long, like 9 crossed to the knockout stage, and all of a sudden 4, I beg your pardon, out in less than 24 hours. I don't know what is wrong with us. But Josiah, I think you have more to say about that.
I think that's the best they can offer for now. The game against Senegal yesterday or early this morning was a bit of a sad one, because they did all they could, but at the same time, it didn't work out for them.
Straight into the Atlantic Ocean, just like that.
That's to tell you that they are getting tired. Number one, they're getting weary. Their legs are.
They're getting tired. The other guys are not playing. It's not the same number of days.
It depends, because Senegal use their strength. That's why it's not very good to have a particular set of people not playing, and then you are not able. See what Norway did in one of their matches. They know that
they rested the 10 players.
10 players, and they came with a fresh grace and a fresh strength. They were refilled, and they came back with
rested well.
Energy. Now the Senegalese people, who are known for their energy kind of football, they dissipated all their energies in one of their games prior to this thing, and they were leading 2-0, right? And they lost to Belgium. Belgium is not a pushover team, and this is a very tactical football country, and they actually came and gave them what they needed, the best football. That, in short, the game was a cracker. Everyone was hot, and then I think at the end of it all, it was decided by something that we said everybody can call anybody's game. But be that as it may, well, this is the best. We were talking earlier behind the scene about the educational and then the psychological and the physical, and then they pay you some small soccer. They will pay them 24/7. They are blacks, but they are how productive are they? They are not too productive. Only very few, the Dembeles, the Mbappe, they are all Africans, but they are playing in the French team. So the Senegalese team, how much of them that are playing apart from very few? What is that? Is it Sejomani?
Sejomani, but it's in Saudi.
He's in Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi.
But when he was playing for Liverpool,
yeah,
he was
fantastic.
Yeah. So tell me, among all other players in that Senegal team, how many of them is outstanding in their clubs? So it also depends. If you look at the Moroccans, they have very good players that you can. They are surging forward not because it's a fluke. They are surging forward because they know what they call football. And I want to believe that they are educationally stable. Maybe with the Arabic school they go and they can understand what the coach is saying. A lot of these African players.
Are you saying that the Senegalese don't understand what the coach is saying?
They are only dependent. The Senegalese have played them. Well, sorry, but I don't want to talk about thinking that their master, who is that Baba that wear that regalia, who do the juju for them. But I want to also abuse juju at this hour. It's just that they lack consistency and lack the effrontery to hold on to a win. And that's the undoing of most teams. And what is the coach? Look at the coach. I don't even know what he was even saying. He was not there. Two down, and then you cannot shock the pressure. You cannot understand the formation they are playing as an African team. You that everybody is rating as one of the top teams that will go beyond for the best 16, and then you lose a match like that. They should be flogged. In short, they should be an Idi Amin that brought his team from.
It's actually frustrating and because we put on all our hopes that at least we expected so high of these.
Because they are one of the highest. Apart from Cote d'Ivoire, I think Senegal is one of our best hopes in Africa to go for that.
Apart from Morocco.
Yeah,
in Morocco. But Caleb, looking at the pattern. We'll go then we'll score, we lose like that after scoring 2 goals. But what I wanted to look at was the 119th minute VAR penalty, the right call at that time as a referee. Will you give such a call?
If I was the referee, I would not call it a penalty. Now, there are a lot of interventions. We said something that this is one of the stages where VAR interventions can either make or mar the competition. And we've seen where wrong calls have taken. The reason why I say this is because the flow of play, there are so many things to consider before giving a penalty at that speed. Now, when the ball was crossing, a very slow look that was taken into if the ball was to get to the player's leg, whose leg would have touched the ball first? And then the answer would definitely be that of the Senegalese player, because he was already in a defensive position even before Teleman's leg was hit. Now, the second thing is the same that they did in England versus Congo when Harry Kane went over due to a contact on the keeper. The reason for not awarding the penalty was because the force that the keeper's hand used to hit Harry Kane was not enough to award the penalty. So why was it not considered now in this same game? And then the third thing to also consider was which part came in contact with whose leg. So all those angles should have been looked at. And then again, the referee had the camera. So why was the referee's cam not broadcasted for all of us to see how the referee saw the angle? This is another angle of politics coming into play in this competition. The referee's cam was available on the pitch. When a player scored, they will show the referee's angle, they will show the referee's cam. But at this point, where the penalty was pivotal, why didn't they show the referee's cam or take from that angle to also decide why the referee not do? And then again, this also boils down to the autonomy of officiating. Because these are one of the reasons why I love Anthony Taylor. In as much as whenever Anthony Taylor officiates the Chelsea game, that
guy that make all this. I don't agree with you. I make Arsenal will lose the game.
We know that he has some individual England that both we have seen this thing happen with that number. So this VRO intervention easily downplays the autonomy of the officiating on-field decision. So this for me alone calls for a review of VRO introduction.
Okay. Okay. Okay, apart from that, yes, I think you have a point there. Referees should be able to hold that, but sometimes they don't want to stick their neck into it because they will face it later after the game. You get after the game they will have to face and write and face any panel.
Okay. Now, let me also tell you something. Do you know that they said something that VAR was going to overturn wrongly awarded corners in this competition? Now, the only game that law was put to impact was against Spain and Cabo Verde and Spain versus Saudi Arabia. Now, tell me that watching the game, why would I not feel that it's suspicious? Because against Spain, that's why you remember that VAR can wrongly overturn corners against same Spain, only for the same Spain that you keep remembering all these things. I don't know, it gets to show that, okay, there's some lack of exclusivity on the VAR side because there's some level of suspiciousness. I don't know what to say, interpretation. Actually, we get different interpretations on law, on reasons why some decisions are awarded. Today, you hear what's called a soft penalty. Tomorrow, you hear a rocky penalty. So tell us what is the penalty and what's not.
In other words, there's this double standard you're trying to say, right? Because the consistency is not there. Here, at one breath, they will call this. At another breath is another thing. So I think what you are trying to say that they have to do a review, but I think the referee need to be held also responsible for this because they need to stand their ground, no matter what, because they need to stand their ground. But before I come back to Josiah here in the studio,
and then you begin to play silly football, and then the contact is very dirty. The referee will
because I didn't even keep that go clean.
Yes.
Even if they called it, would have been 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
So, but the referee had made the call. Now, this is my qualms or my disaffection with the VAR introduction in football. Let the referee's decision be referee's decision.
Because there are some human error make it more beautiful.
And that's what we have seen before. This VAR, you bring three cycles in one place watching this, and then everybody you will say 2 heads, they say is better than 1. Then 2 decisions from one VAR interpretation that gives an advantage, and they will not overrule the referee's decision. That's to me is not officiating. Why is it a VAR? Why are they not inside the pitch playing? Why is it that they must be? Who tell you the people who are watching through the cameras are more visible or are more in contact with the happenings on the field more than the referees? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
So there's more visibility with the and then again you have what linesmen.
Linesmen, yes. But I think sometimes if the referee do not sometimes you even go to linesman and control.
So why are you having six undesirable people deciding the football match? It's 3 that I know. First linesman, then second linesman, and first
the chief referee,
the field.
Yeah.
So this VAR they brought is becoming very scandalous and very creating crisis for football. And then number 2, I want to disagree that referee. What's that referee's name you call again? That man cost me my our
you are being sentimental.
No, I'm not being sentimental. After all, we have heard that FIFA has called him to write. He's not excellent.
Do you agree with me that he's not
an excellent referee? I disagree with you, Caleb, a bit on that matter. But eventually you like him, but me I don't like him. When you see the people, you see the like of Konya, that I think it's a Brazilian or that guy that Shemi said in those days. That guy is what they call a perfect personality that we call officiate. Not all these ones that they will bribe in English Premier League for the
allegedly, because
never allegedly. We've had so many accusations of him. If many clubs are complaining about that referee, then it means that there's something he's doing that we don't know. There's one particular referee. anytime they want Man United to win, they'll bring him to come and officiate. And that Man United will be winning and they'll be celebrating. Each time that guy is not on the field officiating, Man United is down. So it's the same thing that with this guy you are calling. I don't know whether you gave him some reason from
Kevin, as we wrap up this, so that we can talk about the last game. This dramatic comeback, can you say it's a turning point for Belgium tournament? Because even looking at what the coach did, he took what's his name? He took Duco out, and he took De Bruyne also out. Like
Kevin De Bruyne,
yes, took De Bruyne and Duco out. But looking at Jeremy Duco, looking at that changes, me, I was saying, already this guy have lost this game, but that was the turning point. Can you say that risky or that gamble paid off for him?
Well, I will still stand with Mbappé and say that Senegal threw this game away. Now, Senegal will prove my point that they are local champions. Because for me, if you are really champion, why can't you face another person who claims to be a champion? Just like both of us are going into a boxing ring. I have a record of middle belt. You have a record of middle belt.
Yeah.
Let's fight it out and prove who is the better champion. But Senegal again just proved that, we can only beat our fellow Africans and not do it on the international.
That's right.
So you look at the substitution. If Senegal were keeping the ball as they were from the major part of the match, I promise you that even the substitutions would not have paid off. As I this morning, what we would have been asking is, was the coach in his right sense when he took off Doko and Kevin De Bruyne? So because African mentality decided to give way for what smart for Belgium, that's also paid off. And then again, sorry, I think on some point, and I like to disagree with what Mr. Desire said, because if you take a look at the starting 11, 7 players out of 11 have been very regular for their clubs. So the identity of this Senegalese team is one of a very high standard. Even coming in from the AFCON, I expected them to do better. Now we don't. Even the Senegal, the way they play, they don't just play because they want to balloon the ball. They were keeping the ball for the most part of the game. So at the point, I began to wonder, why were people scared? Why were you scared of them balloon the ball? And if you watch the last time that Senegal beat an international country, that was France 2002 World Cup when they won France 1-0.
Yeah.
Watch that game very well. The only thing that France could do was try and take shots from outside. But anytime Senegal got the ball, they always made 1, 2, 3 passes. And then either they hit the target or they created an event. So I don't know what is it that Senegal won? Because for me, Senegal lost it halfway. I would not really say, but yes, to an extent, the coach effort paid off because if having removed Doku and Kevin De Bruyne, the game did not turn around on its head. And then I think we would have also faulted the coach for making the same mistake.
All right. Well said. We are running out of time. Let's go over to the USA and Bosnia game. Let me start with you, Kelly, before I come back to my guy here in the studio. Did Balogun actually deserve a straight red card yesterday? You saw that game, and what do you think, Kelly?
I would also ask Mr. Desire to hear. Did Messi also deserve a straight red card?
Yes, Messi's own. Yes, I think I agree with
that.
Yes.
Messi deserves a red card.
Yesterday we have to bring out the 2 pictures. We have to look at the 2 pictures.
Messi's own is even worse. Messi's own is even worse than even this one.
So for me, it was a straight red without any bias. It was a straight red because that was not where the ball was played. So that was a miscue of the tackle and a very reckless one at that. So for me, it was a very straight red card.
Okay. Okay. Do you think you share some sentiment with
I wouldn't a guy with a professional we call it a professional there's a
because that his boot was already
on his thigh. It was on his thigh. He wanted to stop him. It wasn't somebody said
but he escaped that without even a card. That is even
because most times they protect most big players from exiting events. This is the politics we are talking about. He was talking about, and some referees protect certain players on the field of play. It has happened. In those days, you cannot touch Pele anyhow. If you touch Pele, the referees will blow. The same thing until recently in the new century that we just entered. That now the mask was unveiled. That everybody becomes an offender when you do certain things. But Bonaventure at that time, most of these star players were not as what happened with Messi. People will say that Messi didn't intentionally did what he did. But from what we saw, there was an instinct of trying to say, okay, let me see how I can clear this guy small. And then he did it, and they let him go. Now, giving this guy a red card, for me, it is an injustice. If you do, they say what is good for the geese is good for the gander. So if you didn't do it to Messi and you did it for this guy, then it's not fair. Then it means that there's a bias officiating already in the course of
already we've established that already. Yes. Even when we started that, the officiating there's politics in it.
And I'm going to tell you, they'll play that politics for Mexico. They'll play that politics for they'll play it until you'll be shocked that the three hosting countries will enter into semi-finals.
I don't think that will be possible. But Caleb, how will Pochettino replace his star striker against Belgium, because they're playing Belgium next? But I don't think Belgium will give them a lot of trouble. Go ahead.
That's something that I've also been pondering on, because I've been looking at their replacement. But then again, they have Timothy Weah, so they could be a readjustment of tactics, not really personnel replacement. So they might readjust the tactics. Instead of 3-5-2, you can see a probably 3-4-3 that raises Timothy Weah as the third attacker. You have Pulisic there, and you have Pepeta coming in as the substitute striker. Nevertheless, I think the game might still flow as usual, because this USA team has never ceased to impress me with how they play between the lines, from Anthony Robinson and then Reed to even McKennie and Tillman. I even thought we should give a special shout out to Tillman coming in from Bayer Leverkusen, and
we'll find